Hi. So today, this is kind of a request from one of my students who was asking about some different ideas to play over altered dominant chords. So in this situation, what I was just doing was playing a major triad tritone away from the root of the dominant seventh chord. So in this case, I was playing an A dominant seventh and then an E flat triad on top of it. And then really what I was doing is playing it like both triads back to back. So I would play an E flat triad, then an A triad, then an E flat triad, and an A triad to give it that sense of tension and resolution. So this is a fun trick. So for example, over this A7 chord, I started with a second inversion E flat triad. So I get a flat 2 and a flat 5, a flat 7, and then flat 2 again. So I'm just going up to the octave there. Now, when I'm saying that, these tensions are all in relation to the A, because that's the sound that I'm playing over. So that's what my ear is hearing. I'm not thinking like fifth of the E flat. Well, maybe subconsciously, but I'm not thinking about it in this instance because that's not what I'm hearing against the harmony. So I'm hearing in relation to A, the fifth of E flat is the flat 2 of A. The root of E flat would be the flat 5 of A. The third of E flat would be the flat 7 of A, and the fifth of E flat would be the flat 2 of A. And so all I'm doing is basically taking this triad arpeggio, this E flat, second inversion, and then I'm going up a tritone to the second inversion A triad. Right? Doing the exact same thing. And then on this string set the shape changes, but it's still the same thing. I'm playing an E flat second inversion. And then I'm playing the second inversion A triad. And then because I ran out of room there, that pattern no longer works. So then what I did is, because I'm on the A, I then went up to the next available inversion of the E flat triad, which would be your first inversion. And then I went to the root position, A triad, because that's the next available triad. And then the next one would be E flat. So I go up to the B flat and play the second inversion E flat. And I think maybe that's where I stopped. I mean, you could keep going with this idea up to the A, and then I run out of room there because I don't have the E high E flat note. But at any rate, the idea is always playing, if you're starting on A, playing an A major triad, then E flat triad, and A major triad, E flat. Or, if you're starting E flat, then E flat A, E flat A. So in context, so for example, right there, I played. Down, I think in fourths. Oh yeah, I did do fourths. That idea just to resolve it down to the D minor, which is what I ended on. So basically, a way to practice this is what I found useful is getting comfortable with all your triad inversions, starting on all sets of 3 adjacent strings, and playing it in that context. So for example, if we're doing it on this set, going A. E flat would be your next. That would be your next E flat. So I did root position A, second inversion E flat, and then the next available A chord would be a first inversion, and then the next available E flat would be a root position, and the next available would be a second inversion A, and the next available would be a first inversion E flat, and then the next available would be a root position A. And then the next available would be the second inversion E flat, and so on and so on. So that's one way to start. Of course, you do the next string set. A first and second inversion, E flat, first inversion, A root position, E flat, second inversion, first inversion A, root position E flat, second inversion A, first inversion E flat, and so on and so on. So you get a lot of cool ideas that way. So for example, on one string set, you get this root in your head, and then you could start on the E flat, right, and then keep going up. and then you'll start basically just practicing those arpeggios like this, constantly getting comfortable with. Your ear starts to see pathways to controlling some dissonance and resolution over that chord. So I would start practicing on all sets of 3 adjacent strings, and then you'll start to see some cool combinations where you can apply that concept that I started in the video when I went this pattern, going up tritones. You could then do that on starting with the different inversions. So that's starting with second inversion. It just lies really well on the fretboard, so that's why I started there. But you could start on the first inversion E flat, and then you would start the same pattern, a tritone up on the next string, which would be the first inversion A, sorry. And then you would start a tritone from there, and you'd be back at the first inversion E flat. And then from there, first inversion A flat. So then you get the same sound with the inversions. It's a little harder fingering wise because you have that big stretch. Whoops. Like that. And then the root position. And then we're back to where I started with the second inversion. And then we'd start over again on the first inversion like we did up there with the E flat, but it would be on the A now. And E flat, A, E flat. And then here we go with the root position, but on the E flat. And then here we go with the second inversion on the A. Second inversion E flat, and then second inversion A, second inversion E flat. So that's a quick little fun way to layer some dissonance over a dominant 7th chord if you want a flat 9, flat 5 sound. So hopefully that helps. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I'll post everything on there in the future. And have fun. All right, take care. Bye-bye.